guys, welcome back to my channel. It's me again. Look, I'm wearing Hermes orange. You know what time it is, okay? It's time to laugh at Hermes, who just love being dragged at this point. Some of you were like telling me in comments like, hey, you're always like picking up like nasty stories. How come I have a great experience with my essay? Literally, go on Google reviews for any of the boutiques. Look at the reviews. You will see all of these reviews there, particularly the Google reviews. They can never be deleted by Google. Hermes cannot call anyone there to delete them. I don't even think Hermes care at this point. I think they probably like the bad reviews. Let's just get straight into it and let's start off immediately with the Las Vegas boutique. I believe this is the one at the Encore. This review, I think, is from Yelp. I was screaming so hard reading this. Again, I'm not laughing at the client, but I'm just laughing at the shenanigans that the Hermes essays play. I feel like they're just hysterical to me. Anyway, so you should be able to see it on the screen. Let me just paraphrase for those of you who don't want to read it. So pretty much this person goes in, the person knows about the games and shenanigans. They say they wanted to just try it on. They just wanted to see what it looks like on them. They wanted to try on the bag just to see it, but they were going to buy it in Paris, okay? And then the essays are like, oh please, okay? And then they tell the client that there are no bags available. Ooh, I love that one. That's one of my favorite little lines from Hermes. We all know the bags are there. Stop, okay? So when I first saw this review, I remember just thinking, okay, this is like typical games and shenanigans from this brand. As a client of the house, I think you need to be realistic about your options in these like touristy cities that do actually have local clients. I think sometimes us as Hermes customers, we can be quite ignorant about other cities. So you might think, well, that's a really touristy place and I should be able to walk in there and buy a bag. Well, there are people who live in Las Vegas year round and there are going to be local VIPs there. I do feel like there's been a shift in the Vegas stores. There was a time, particularly like 3 years ago, I would hear a lot about the Las Vegas stores. Like you could be able to do a walk-in and get like a Birkin 25 and get a Kelly 25. Doesn't seem like that's really happening at the moment for a lot of people. It seems like you have to kind of decamp to Las Vegas and you have to start a relationship there and kind of show a little bit of loyalty, and then your offer will come. For those of you who live in the US and you live near Nevada, you know, it's not like the good old days of the walk-ins. I think in the example of this particular client, I think it's quite cheeky to walk in there and be like, you'd like to try something on. You're not going to buy anything. Okay, show us something. Okay, grease their palms a bit. Buy a Twilly. Okay, buy a Click H bracelet, and then be like, oh, I just wanted to see. I bet you if that person had bought something, they would have allowed them to like at least just try something on, even if it was reserved. Okay, but they were like, please, this person is another Birkin bounty hunter. This person's not gonna buy anything. They're not adding anything to my commission. There are no bags for you. The next story is from Toronto, Canada. This story actually outraged me because I think Hermes were bang out of order. There's a client who walked in there, I think with her husband and her newborn baby. She just had a baby. She had an appointment to buy something. So she was not a time waster trying to look and touch everything and, you know, film things for their vlogs or whatever. She was actually shopping and buying something. And then I think because of a C-19 policy, they wouldn't let her and her baby and her husband in because of her baby. She says how even another couple noticed like what was going on and they were like outraged on their behalf. So they wouldn't even let them into the appointment because I believe in the appointment, she said she was coming with her and her husband. And then she arrived there with her literally 1-year-old baby. Okay. I'm sorry, but Hermes are bang out of order here, okay? It's a baby, a 12-month-old little baby. I refuse to believe that the manager or one of the top SAs who was there couldn't have used common sense. Common sense dictates that, oh, there are 2 people coming, it's a husband and wife, you know, presumably they might have a child with them, who knows, we don't know that. Okay, they have a newborn or like a young baby with them. Let's just let them in. They're going to buy something. It was an appointment to buy something. It's not there to like waste time and waste everyone's time. But because of the C-19 policy, there were too many of them in the appointment because they literally counted the baby as like, you know, a fully grown human being. It's a baby, okay? Most of us, we all know what time it is. We all know that kids' menus at restaurants are cheaper. We all know that some kids can fly for free on flights, like they're not charged money or whatever. I mean, definitely back in my day when you were really young and you're traveling with your parents, like your parents wouldn't pay the full fee for you because you're like a little kid. When I read this, I was just like, it's just more proof of more shenanigans from the Canadian Hermes stores. I've heard lots of crazy stories. I've read a lot of them as well, not just on Google reviews and Yelp, but also on Facebook. Those boutiques tend to be quite competitive. I'm just really disappointed that they couldn't use common sense. I think that this is also a massive turnoff for new mums and women who are mothers. I don't feel like that's very child friendly. I don't think that's very welcoming. I don't think that doesn't make me feel like if I was to have a child and to go into Hermes, that doesn't make me feel like I would want to go in with my kid into the store. I mean, it's a baby, okay? A baby is not gonna, a 12-month-old baby is not gonna get out of her mother's arms, start walking around and asking for a bagging. Okay, I really need Hermes to stop. I better stop talking about this story because it's really, really annoying. I hope that she complained to corporate. I know most of the time we say that Hermes doesn't really care about complaints. I'm pretty sure if they heard this that they'd be really, really angry. I think the top suits who would hear this would be quite upset about this because common sense dictates use common sense. Don't be a robot. I understand that C19 is very sensitive, but I just feel like here they didn't use common sense and they should have felt bad of how they treated her. The next story is from St Tropez. This story is like, I kind of see where Hermes is coming from, but I also see where the clients are coming from. Okay, so the guy is writing Google reviews. My girlfriend has been buying from Hermes for years and has a Birkin from USA. We traveled to the Côte d'Azur, ooh, fancy. Monaco, Nice, Cannes, and St Tropez, looking for, this time for a Kelly. Are you barking mad? Are you mad? At each store, they simply looked at our casual wear and rather rudely explained that they were out of stock. Ooh, yes, honey, okay, Hermes and her lies, okay? Big H loves lying. Anyway, so the question becomes, okay, when do you have new stock? To which they replied, we don't know. We were then in shock at their, we were in shock at their disdain for us. Not even did they bother to check. We were registered clients. Oh, this is interesting. I wonder if the other French stores can see worldwide history. Maybe not. I heard that the Parisian boutiques can see a worldwide spend, but maybe not. We don't know about that. This is not simply the renowned French lack of customer service. It's an arrogant and rudeness applied to loyal customers that is simply a disgrace. It's time to switch allegiance to those who would like our customer service and customer. Hold on, wait, we'd like our custom in the future. Sorry, Hermes, but you're void of real class. Okay, I want to address a few things here. First of all, I remember when I was doing my exchange, I told you guys, I was like, I did 6 months in Fort-de-France in Martinique in the French West Indies, and I did 6 months in Paris, and I was like sharing a flat in Montmartre, and it was literally everything, okay? What I found, I want to address the French customer service thing. In my opinion, this isn't a French customer service thing, this is a capital city thing. All capital cities, Paris, London, yes, New York is not the capital of the US. Relax, you guys. I know it's Washington, D.C., but you know what I mean? It acts like a capital city. All capital cities, even Dar, have this energy, like where everyone's busy doing their own thing. People don't have time to sit and explain things to you. I don't feel like it's a French thing. And I have to say, when I was in Paris, in Montmartre, I remember like one day getting lost, walking into the shop, trying in really, really bad French, like, bonjour, you know, I am lost, help me please. And literally this man who literally was like, I'm gonna find my son, my son's really good at English, we're gonna help, you know, figure this out for you. I think there are many people, Parisians, like native Parisians and many French people who are very warm and kind and friendly. I think some of this depends on your attitude. I do think, I don't know about these people, if you go into the Nice or Monaco or St Tropez store, do you go in saying, hello, I'd like to buy a Kelly? Or do you say, bonjour, ça va bien? Like, are you trying? At least say bonjour and ask someone about their day, if you can. I do feel like most people in these boutiques are basically bilingual, but I do think it goes a long way just to be like bonjour with a smile, and then be like, for example, you could say je ne parle pas français très bien, parlez-vous anglais, and then go speak it in English from there. I do think that plays a big role in allowing people to kind of warm up to you. And just there I said, hello, I don't speak French, do you speak English? I do think that plays a role, because I was always like that. Like when I was in Paris, I in general found Fort-de-France, Martinique, the French West Indies, they are so friendly in the French Antilles. And at the time when I was living in Martinique, I think things have changed now. When I was there doing my exchange, it was like 2006. Very few people spoke English in Martinique. And it really forced me to like speak French. And literally, even with very few people speaking English, people were so friendly, so nice, so keen to help. So I just wanted to address that, because I know that's like a famous thing that people say, that French service can be cold. I do think, like, just try and say bonjour at least, and try and make an effort. I feel like if I've been like, bonjour madame, bonjour monsieur, and then you're like mean and cold to me, okay, then I would understand. But I do think some tourists are rude and walk into boutiques, start speaking English straight away. You know, if you have been to France, if you've lived in France, or even a month, you will know that French people are very proud of their language. I do think a little goes a long way in being friendly. So I don't know about this couple, whether they walked in there and were like, bonjour, or whether they walked in there and were like, hi, can I have a Kelly? No, you cannot have a Kelly, honey. We do not have any for you, even though we're in St Tropez. And of course we have them in the bag. And then the next thing we're going to talk about is talking about the casual wear thing. I've been thinking about this now for some time, after reading so many of these crazy stories. I do think that Hermes want to like choose the types of people who walk into their store in the way they look. I'm not saying that you have to wear head to toe Versace or head to toe, you know, like Hermes ready to wear to walk into the store. But I do think that they want this really like refined, elegant, or glossy type of person who goes in. I think if you go in looking extra casual, by the way, casual is a frame of mind. Like casual, but you're wearing off-white, okay? Okay? Are you wearing an off-white jumper and an off-white handbag? Because that's casual, but that's like luxury streetwear. I'm sure they're gonna see someone wearing off-white and be like, hello, you know? Or are you literally wearing trackies, joggers, and you've been to the gym and you're walking in sweating and you're casual? Because that is also, I feel like, you're not getting anything in here, honey, okay? You look like you've been running around the city all day. I know it's really judgmental. I personally wouldn't go into a high-end boutique. Like, when I say casual, I feel like I would be dressed casually, but I think you should look groomed. Okay, now, it's not clear here whether they were groomed or not. And whether you have a Kelly or a Birkin on your arm, I think at this point, Hermes know that so many people are buying at resale. And these people sound like they got a store offer, but they know so many people are buying at resale. They know so many people have Birkins and Kellys. I don't even really know if that matters anymore. Frankly, I think if you maybe walked into the Hermes store with a different designer handbag, that would probably impress them more, and they might take you more seriously. Who knows? This is a really interesting story. I want to know your opinions on it. I hope I said things in a way that's respectful. I understand how they feel, but these are very competitive stores. Monaco, allegedly, I saw people in the press room say they only sell Kellys to Monegasque locals. I can't prove that. It does make sense because obviously Princess Grace, obviously, was the Princess of Monaco, and she was married to Prince Rainier. Nice, super competitive boutique. Cannes, very competitive. St Tropez. I originally wanted to go to all these stores. I heard they're so competitive, they're so crazy, and you need to be ready to spend some money. I think also here, with this review, if I could just critique it a little bit, is that, you know, buy something. Don't just walk in there asking for a Kelly. Walk in there, buy something, okay? Buy something small, come on. Buy a bracelet, buy something, buy some shoes, then get the conversation started and start chatting. And, you know, I think, again, I do think that, you know, if you're a Francophone, of course, that's an advantage, particularly in these boutiques that are outside of Paris, but I do think probably most SAs who work in the French stores are probably bilingual at this point. But like I said, I still think just at least saying hello in French and making a tiny effort if you can, I think that goes a long way in my opinion, and that might help soften some people up. And someone might feel like, wow, that's a really cool tourist who came in, they're not entitled, they're not speaking English immediately. Maybe we'll offer them, you know, a Birkin 35 in the back or something. The next story is from the St Tropez boutique again. I believe this review is actually from a French citizen, because I was reading her name. I don't want to put her name though on the screen, but she put her name, you know, on there, and her name looked French to me, so I thought this was really interesting. She's like, we come every summer to St Tropez into the shop. Service used to be much nicer 10 years ago. The staff are intimidating and cold. They judge you from your clothes, hello, and evaluate if you're going to spend money. They jump on you as soon as you walk in the door, asking what you want. In this day and age, it's unrealistic. People can wear what they want and be anyone. It's disappointing that a house like Hermes contributes to this bad reputation of French service, you know? Okay, a few things. As I said, I think that this woman is actually French. In my opinion, this one is more about clothing, you know? And again, like, I don't feel like you should walk in wearing a ball gown. I don't think that anyone is saying that. But in my opinion, I don't think that Big H cares if you're like wearing, you know, joggers that have holes in them and you have £1 million in your bank account. I don't think they care. I think aesthetics matter a lot to them. I think in other luxury stores, if you walk in, you know, and you look really casual, I do feel like they, you know, might size you up and be like, oh, this person might have money, they just look really casual today. But I think Hermes actually want you to look rich, inverted commas, whatever that means. It means different things to other people, and I think that they really want to look, they want you to look like you have money, and not necessarily in this like gaudy way, but I do feel like that's the kind of client that they want. And I think that if you go in and you look really casual, that's just not really the visual that they want for their brand, and that's a really harsh thing. And I want to be clear, you watch me in my videos, I'm very casual in a lot of my videos, so I understand how comfortable it is to be casual and to go into a store. But for example, even though I'm casual, this is a Ralph Lauren polo, you know? I do think that they want you to like, to look a certain kind of way. And I think that is unfair. It is unfair, to be honest with you. But it is what it is. And Big H do not care, Hermes do not care. I mean, I don't know. I don't want to be too defensive of this brand, because if when I go to Paris, like, if people are rude to me, you know, I'm definitely going to come back here and say it. I'm definitely going to be writing my Google reviews for sure. But like I said, you know, when I was in Paris and when I was in the French Antilles in Martinique, I really do think that, particularly like if you also are, you know, friendly, not like smiling like a crazy person, okay, so you can get a bag. But I do think if you're a bit warm and friendly, I think it's fine. I think that's from a cultural point of view. I don't mind walking into a shop being like, hi, can you help me? I'd like to buy something. Some people want the SA to come and, you know, be like, hey, what would you like to buy? What would you like to buy? I mean, here, she says how, you know, they come in, they immediately ask them, asking what you want. I mean, I think it depends the tone. I wasn't there, so I didn't hear the tone. And I think her review is probably valid, but I don't see anything wrong with, I'm walking into Hermes, okay? And just me culturally, I'm not really a window shopper. That's just not how I am. And obviously I have a shopping channel, so I'm pretty much gonna know what I'm gonna buy. But I do think it's okay for you to walk in, for someone to ask you, what do you wanna buy? You know? So anyway, I'd love to know what you think about this. The St Tropez store is being dragged, honey, okay? And I love it. Okay, the next story is from Venice. Sorry, my mic there. The next story is from Venice, and this story is hysterical because I so want to do this as well. So it's a client. One day she goes in wearing, like, you know, looking completely casual, looking a mess, honey, okay? She's not wearing any jewelry, she doesn't look whatever. The next day she goes wearing, like, you know, designer, she's wearing her bags, okay? The first day when she goes, you know, looking like, okay, whatever, they're no bags. I just can't with this brand. I love this brand. I hate them too. They're no bags, honey, okay? And then the next time when she goes and she looks like, you know, 500 million pounds with her luxury jewelry and her bags, they're like, oh yeah, there is a bag, let me show you. And she, by the way, she does ask for a Coat bag. I think in the review she says she asked for a Birkin. I think this is just classic Hermes, you know, it's classic Hermes shenanigans. Venice is obviously, you know, a massive tourist destination around the world. Please God, I'd love to go there one day. I don't think it's out of the question for someone to hope to score a bag in Venice. It is a very touristy destination. If you're from Venice, of course, they will have local clients who are from Venice as well, but it is a very popular tourist destination. I don't see anything wrong with going in the Venice boutique. Maybe, like I said, buying a cliquage or buying, you know, just something small, nothing excessive, and then saying, hey, you know, do you have maybe a Constance? Maybe start there and then ask for a larger bag, and then see if maybe they'll be like, okay, buy something else. I just think it's really funny that she wasn't shown a bag the day she didn't look nice, the day she looked like, you know, 500 million pounds, they offered her a bag. So again, you know, it just kind of ties in with the stories from St Tropez. They really want a certain type of client. And I've noticed that when it comes to these stores, I know there are going to be some of you who say, I know there are going to be some of you are going to be like, well, how come in my store I wear joggers and trainers and I get my quota bags? That's not the same. We're not talking about people who have a grandfathered relationship with an SA. We're talking about people who are trying their luck as walk-ins in different Hermes boutiques around the world. And we're talking about the tourist trade for Hermes. The tourist spend is very important for the house. And I do think that there are tourists who are scoring in places like Venice. Obviously, the fact that they showed her a quota bag means that they were probably willing to sell her one. Maybe they thought they would offer her that and then be like, hey, would you like to buy this bracelet or would you like to buy this watch? So I just think it's really interesting. I think that it's interesting that she is like offended by that. I don't know whether I'm right or wrong in this. I do think that everyone should be treated the same. I guess maybe because I've actually had a retail business, I understand that in retail, looks do play a role, like whether you want to admit it or not. And don't let anyone who has a boutique or has a store say to you, no, we don't judge anyone. In retail, you absolutely look at the way the person looks. And there are a lot of like mind games being played with the retail associates and the client to figure out if this person has money. And I've told you guys many times before, most of the time, at least in my experience when I had my store, the people who really were going to spend were the people who were just not that stressful to deal with in the boutique. They weren't asking to touch 5,000 million things, look at, you know, 500 million things and then be like, okay, I'm going to buy this one tiny thing here. They were people who were just like, hey, okay, cool, I'd like to buy something. So I think my advice for those of you guys, and this is what I'm going to do when I go to Paris for our like shopping trip, whatever, is I would just make it clear that you want to buy something immediately and be like, hey, I'm interested in buying this. And I think in terms of Hermes, obviously the Parisian boutiques, you know, there's an appointment system. If you're going to go to another store in France, I think, you know, try a little bit to speak some French if you can. If you're not a francophone, at least say bonjour and say hello in French and then just go from there in English. I think that would be appreciated. Anyway, I would love to know what you think of those stories. Make sure you like this video, subscribe, hit notifications. We have some more Hermes stuff that we need to talk about. I received a comment from one of you a few days ago that I thought was really interesting and I thought it would be worth sharing with the rest of you guys as well, in case you didn't see it. One of you guys asked me about Istanbul. You said you were going to Turkey. You wanted to know if there was a chance to score in Istanbul. And I was saying how I've heard about Istanbul, that you can score if you're willing to do a little bit of one-to-one spending, that they're a little bit more open to tourists in Turkey. I mean, you have to be realistic though, like, Kelly 32, Birkin 35, not like the mini Kelly. That's obviously going to go to the VIPs in Istanbul and in Turkey. So yeah, I just thought it was really interesting in case anyone wants to know about another location where maybe you can score and it's not Mexico. Apparently the boutique in Istanbul, there's a possibility depending if you're ready to do a little bit of one-to-one spend. So I just thought I would let you guys know about that. When it comes to Hermes and her shenanigans, I think at the end of the day, it is what it is. Something else that I was hearing a lot of people complain about on social media and in these reviews is the fact in the US, they don't process refunds. They only do this thing called store credit. I had to Google it because we do not have that in my country and I've never heard of that before. And I don't think it's like every American Hermes boutique refuses to give a refund, but a lot of them do. And I think this is also in Canada as well. I think that they do that because they don't want to go through what Chanel are going through. I'm in a lot of luxury shopping groups on Facebook. Many people are just doing way too much of Chanel. I know why Chanel are now increasing prices. Chanel are like, we don't want to deal with stress anymore. We don't want to deal with people who are just like constantly returning things. And at this point in the game, you can't even talk about the Q situation, which is quality, because at this point, I don't know why people are still complaining about Chanel quality and buying Chanel bags. I don't think that you should do excessive returns. I think you should return an item that is faulty or that you don't like, but I don't think that people should do what I'm seeing people do on Instagram and Facebook, which is literally someone buys a Chanel bag, they buy a watch, they buy a card holder, then they're like, which one should I keep? That's crazy to me, and that actually fuels the situation we have right now of getting a lot of these defective products onto the market because people are returning things that they've literally touched and put their fingers all over and used, okay, returning them, and then Chanel is like circulating them back to new customers, you know? I think Hermes do not want to deal with these types of games, and they're just tired. They're like, no, we don't want to deal with that. We want people who know what they're buying. And I think that's why they're doing that. And I know some of you are going to be angry at me for my opinion. And I hope that if you are someone who returns a lot, I hope you don't feel personally attacked. It's not a personal attack against you, but I would just say to those who are excessively returning, you need to also think, why are you excessively returning things? Because you're also hurting the SA, you're hurting them as well. And then I have noticed a lot of people who do a lot of returns then complain that they can't get unicorn bags at Chanel. Well, of course you're not going to get a unicorn bag. You're constantly returning things, so you're not actually a good client. I think Hermes don't want to deal with that stress. They want to deal with people who know what they want to buy. It's just my opinion. I hope you're not offended, you guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.